I really enjoyed reading about the International Centre for Contemporary Music and all of the exciting projects that you have for the centre. Would you tell us a little bit more, for the purposes of the listeners, what the centre is about and what are you aiming to do with the centre over the next few years?
Yes, it's a good question. The purpose of the center is to provide a concentrated look and address contemporary music exclusively in all of its forms, as classical contemporary music, and to really explore the repertoire in a more focused way, rather than maybe, most organizations can spend only a portion of their repertoire or their season on contemporary works. Oftentimes that's a small portion, although here in London there are orchestras that spend more time on that. Our idea is to say, what a novel idea to actually work just with the music of our time, to do what has been done in the past, right? The time of Bach or Beethoven or Schumann, when people are writing music and it was being performed. That was the norm. And somehow we have, over the years, drifted away. I think there are some reasons for that. And I think that there are people that are not perhaps specific individuals, but maybe even the music industry itself. We have certainly played a role where contemporary music has become more and more esoteric and distant, away from something that people understand. I think that is changing gradually, but I think that it is our desire to actually bring to the forefront many of the wonderful compositions that are being written by what I call the prophets of our time, and to give them a voice, and to do it exclusively. Not everybody likes necessarily Chinese food or Japanese food, and that's the way it is with music, right? Maybe they will not listen to contemporary music every time, but it's sure nice that if you want Japanese food, you can go to a Japanese restaurant, right? That's their specialty. This is our specialty. We are addressing music of our time. That's what we're about.
So do you think that there needs to be more training that's devoted to the performance of contemporary music? Because I know at the centre you also have lots of training opportunities. In countries like Amsterdam, I know that there is a huge contemporary music scene. There are degrees specifically focused on contemporary music. Or do you think that the music colleges train their students in playing in lots of different styles, including contemporary?
Yeah, I think that it is a matter of education, but to a large degree, it is the matter of exposure. And if we don't give that opportunity, especially to young people, in 30, 40 years, when they're grown up and leaders in the community, they will probably not be concert goers or attending concerts that are about contemporary music. By that time, of course, the music that was contemporary when they're growing up has become old, probably most of it forgotten. Here and there, some token acknowledgements of it. Our idea is to bring it to the forefront. We really join hands with all the fine ensembles that London offers, who are already doing similar things. It is just that this is our concentration, right? Mm-hmm. This is what we do through all of our programs. We're always going after the mission, which is the performance and the promotion and production of contemporary music, just like, the Tate is dedicated to contemporary art, right? It doesn't mean that you can't enjoy a Rembrandt or it doesn't have to be Chagall or Mondrian or whatever. So similarly, what we're trying to do is to say, listen, there's a lot that you haven't heard that's wonderful. that actually is quite listenable and you can understand. And there are, of course, compositions that are more challenging, and it helps to be exposed to it. And so that's what we will promote. It's educational, but part of the education is being exposed.
Let's talk about some of those composers that you're wanting to expose your audiences to, the Penderecki symphonies, which I know that you've been recording over this weekend with the Philharmonia. Tell us a little bit more about those symphonies and why you chose to launch the centre's season with those symphonies. I feel that it's music that can really speak to our time.
Yes. Without a doubt, he's one of the greats of our time. The idea came to me when he died. I immediately wrote to his widow and said, we're launching this center. I would like to do an homage to the maestro. And we've actually corresponded quite a bit, and Mrs. Penderecki will be involved in actual production of the complete symphonies. But the idea is behind that is to acknowledge one of the great masters of our time with the Penderecki symphonies. It's also interestingly, and this is always so useful, to be unique, right? This will be a unique edition because Penderecki's symphonies have never been issued complete. The complete sets that exist at this point by Witt and also by Penderecki himself, they were incomplete. The Symphony Number 6, which of course he wrote, completed 8 symphonies, but Symphony Number 6 was never recorded or included in the full set. So what we're doing here is now we're taking all 8. That includes Number 6, which is a marvelous piece, great homage to Mahler. And yet, it's like Mahler many years later. That's what Penderecki did. Penderecki himself said that, that Mahler was a big influence on him. And he said that something, he didn't like to listen to his music because he was then haunted for weeks by it, and he couldn't have any kind of control of his creative work because he was just overwhelmed by this music. But in any case, I think that's it's a big empty spot, and I think that this is what this huge project, very big project that will last 2.5, 3 years, is going to rectify. I think it's important to pay that homage to a great master of our time.